Hey there. Pull up a chair, my friend. It's good to see you. I was just sitting here thinking about how much the world has changed since we were kids. Not just the big stuff like politics or technology, but the feel of a simple Tuesday afternoon. Do you remember our living rooms back then? I remember being a kid, sitting on that thick, fuzzy shag carpet, staring at a giant wooden box in the corner of the living room. Remember the ritual of just turning it on? It wasn't like today where you hit a button on a piece of plastic and an image instantly appears. No, back then, you had to earn it. You'd pull that knob and you'd hear that heavy pop, followed by that low internal hum that sounded like a jet engine warming up in the distance. Man, I can still smell it. That specific scent of heated dust and warm vacuum tubes. And if you got too close to the screen while it was warming up, do you remember that zap of static electricity on your arm? It was like the TV was alive. If you touched the screen, you could practically feel the snow buzzing under your fingertips. And we were the remote controls, weren't we? I remember my dad sitting in his recliner shouting, "Hey, flip it to channel 7, see if the game is on." And you'd get up, walk over, and hear that heavy mechanical clunk of the plastic dial. It was a workout just to see what else was on. There were only 3 or 4 channels, but it felt like the whole world was in that box. And when the commercials started, you didn't always get up. You stayed. You listened. Because, let's be honest, some of those jingles were better than the actual shows. It's funny, isn't it? Today, we spend our lives trying to skip ads. We pay extra just to avoid them. But back then, man, the commercials were part of the fabric of our lives. They weren't just interruptions. They were the soundtrack to our childhood. If you grew up in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We didn't just watch these ads, we lived them. We sang them on the playground. We argued about them at the dinner table. And honestly, I think we still remember the lyrics to those jingles better than we remember what we had for lunch yesterday. So, let's take a little trip back. Let's talk about the golden era of TV commercials and why we still remember every single word of them. In the 1960s, the commercial characters began to feel like part of the family. You remember Mr. Whipple? He was that grumpy but lovable grocer who spent 20 years telling us, "Please don't squeeze the Charmin." Mr. Whipple was so famous that in the 70s, he was actually one of the most recognizable faces in the country, right up there with the president. Then there were the jingles that just lived in our heads. I bet if I started singing, "Oh, I wish I were an Oscar Mayer wiener," you'd know every single word. That song was created back in 1962 for a contest, and it became so iconic they played it in 19 different countries. And if that wasn't enough, they gave us the Bologna song in the early 70s. It taught an entire generation of us how to spell a word that, let's be honest, makes absolutely no sense phonetically. As we moved into the 70s, the commercials felt like they were trying to bring everyone together. You remember that 1971 Coca-Cola ad? The one with all those young people from all over the world standing on a hilltop in Italy. Man, "I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony" wasn't just a jingle. It was a massive hit record. The idea for that ad actually started when a creative director was stuck at an airport in Ireland. He saw a group of frustrated, stranded passengers finally start laughing and sharing stories over bottles of Coke. He realized the drink was more than a beverage. It was a universal peace offering. It cost a fortune to film, but it offered 60 seconds of pure optimism that reached over 100 countries. And speaking of music, do you remember how many of our favorite jingles were by actual pop stars before they were famous? It blew my mind to find out that Barry Manilow was the guy who wrote, "I am stuck on Band-Aid brand 'cause Band-Aid stuck on me." He also wrote, "Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there," and the "You deserve a break today" theme for McDonald's. He once said that writing Jingles was the best music college he could ever have. The 70s also gave us the legend of Little Mikey and Life cereal. We all remember those two older brothers pushing that bowl of cereal toward the picky kid, saying, "He won't eat it. He hates everything." When he started eating, and they shouted, "He likes it! Hey, Mikey!" It was like a victory for every kid who didn't want to eat their vegetables. Of course, the schoolyard rumors were the best part. Remember how everyone knew Mikey had died because he ate Pop Rocks and drank a soda at the same time? We were all terrified of those little popping candies for years because of that. And then there was Alka-Seltzer's Plop, Plop, Fizz, Fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. It was so catchy, but it was actually a brilliant marketing trick. Originally, people only took one tablet, but a doctor suggested 2 were more effective. So they wrote the jingle to literally show you dropping 2 into the glass, and it doubled their sales almost overnight. Between that and "That's a spicy meatball," or "I can't believe I ate the whole thing," they really owned the 70s. By the time we hit the 80s, commercials became events. Remember the Cola Wars? It was like choosing a political party. And then, in 1984, Wendy's introduced us to Clara Peller. She was this tiny 80-year-old lady with a gravelly voice who would look at those giant fluffy buns and bark, "Where's the beef?" That phrase took over the country. It was used in sitcoms, on T-shirts, and even in a 1984 presidential candidates debate. It's funny because the director actually wanted her to say, "Where is all the beef?" But Clara had emphysema and couldn't get the whole sentence out in one breath, so she just went with the shorter version that became history. If you were a kid in the 80s, Saturday morning was sacred. You'd be sitting there with your bowl of Honeycomb, watching G.I. Joe or He-Man. Remember the Big Big Bite song? This was the era when toy companies could turn their products into actual shows. But the commercials were the real anthem. Remember the Toys R Us song? "I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid." It felt like they were talking directly to us, telling us it was okay to keep playing with Star Wars figures and Barbie dream houses forever. The mascots from that era felt like actual characters in our lives, almost like childhood friends we saw every day. Tony the Tiger was the gold standard. That deep, booming voice made us believe that a bowl of Frosted Flakes really was great. And who could forget the Kool-Aid Man? He was the ultimate agent of chaos. You'd be thirsty, someone would yell, "Hey, Kool-Aid!" And this giant 6-foot-tall pitcher would just smash through a brick wall, making a total mess, and bellow, "Oh yeah." In the late 80s, we got the Energizer Bunny. It was such a smart campaign because they'd start a fake commercial for something boring like sinus relief or coffee, and then you'd hear that drum beat. Out would march this pink bunny in sunglasses and flip-flops, just going and going and going. It was a parody of the Duracell bunny that had been around for a decade, but the Energizer version was so much funnier that it's the one we all remember. We also had the California Raisins, which I still think is one of the weirdest and coolest things from our youth. These little claymation raisins singing "I Heard It Through the Grapevine" with the voice of Buddy Miles. They were so popular they actually had 4 studio albums and their own Saturday morning cartoon. They even have a permanent collection in the Smithsonian now. And remember the Budweiser Frogs from the mid-90s? Just 3 frogs in a swamp croaking, "Bud-wise-er." It was so simple, it was genius. And it really marked the end of that golden era of the shared TV commercial experience. So, why do we still know these words? Why, when I say, "I can't believe I ate the whole thing," or "Look, Ma, no cavities,"
do you immediately see those images in your head? I think it's because those commercials were the background noise of a safer, simpler time. They represent our parents being in the next room and the taste of a Saturday morning with nothing to do but watch cartoons. We didn't have the world's information in our pockets back then. We had 3 or 4 channels, and we had each other. We shared those jingles like a secret language. When we see an old ad today, we're seeing a version of ourselves that was younger, more hopeful, and easily delighted by a talking owl asking how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. The world may never know. I'd love to hear from you. Which jingle is stuck in your head right now? Is it the Oscar Mayer song? The Folgers' Best Part of Waking Up? Or maybe that Calgon Take Me Away moment? Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the one commercial that you can still see perfectly when you close your eyes? It's been great talking with you today. Let's keep these memories alive together. Until next time, keep looking back with a smile. After all, that's how things were, and they were pretty great, weren't they?